on the lot, dancing with the baddest bitch. Diamonds dripping on my chest, now we glow up in this bed. Double cup, I'm feeling good, time to gotta hit the switch. Resurrected, lit it twice, bitch, I had to take a trip. Got the paddock on the lot, dancing with the baddest bitch.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel here, Pedro Fame, back with another video with you guys. I wanted to go ahead and do an intro for you guys. I'm gonna be out pretty much most of the day, so I just wanted to go ahead and get this one earlier. So like I said, I do have some videos for you guys. Now I'm gonna talk to you guys about the differences between renting a home and an apartment. I'm gonna give you the pros and cons of this. Pro to renting a home: you have a backyard, you have a front yard, you don't have to go upstairs. I know some apartment complexes are the first floor, so you can just walk into it, but really nice is you have your garage or a carport, like I do. It's really great to have those type of things. Compared to an apartment, it was a pain. I was living on the third floor, having to go up 3 flights of stairs every time you parked your car was kind of annoying. Plus, parking was atrocious there. The worst I've ever seen, bro. That parking situation was awful. So I was having to park sometimes on the other side or to completely different other buildings. Anybody who's been to my apartment knows, like, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to get a parking spot near my building. So it really sucked. At times it was really tough to leave the apartment to go downstairs, because it was literally a walk every time. Not saying because I'm lazy or anything, but it's just sometimes annoying, because like if you just need to quickly grab something out of your car, you can't. You have to go all the way downstairs. Like, you have to actually think about it before you actually do it. Where here is automatic. Just come right out, grab it, go back in. Less than 2 minutes, maybe less than a minute. So that's a pro tip, and that's a negative about an apartment. A good thing about an apartment compared to renting a house is you don't have to deal with yard work. Yard work is a little bit kind of implied when you rent a house, that you have to do that type of stuff. The owner's not going to do that for you. You have to maintain it. Just like you have to maintain the entire property, you have to wash it, clean it. You have to do all types of stuff to a house compared to an apartment, where you don't have to do none of that stuff. Anything that's exterior of your apartment, you don't have to worry about. And even in the interior, if it breaks or something, then they have to come fix it out. So same thing here, though. If anything breaks, we call the landlord. He has a handyman come to fix that. But we still have to maintain it more. We have more responsibilities than in an apartment. An advantage for renting a house is the walls are not thin. You don't hear everybody's conversations. Such a good tip. I lived on the 3rd floor, so I didn't hear nobody's BS or anything weird or anything like that, because we were the top floor, so I never had to deal with that. But people on the 2nd and 1st floor, they have to deal with that. They also have to deal with constantly, like if somebody's using the washer and dryer, using the bathroom, something like that, the water sound like it's coming through your apartment. Thank God I wasn't there for it. I didn't have to hear that, because that would have been weird too. And I'm like, dang, they use the bathroom a lot, type of thing, and I don't want to deal with all that. That's another good pro thing about that. I know some places are only 2 stories, so if it was 2 stories, it wouldn't really matter to me as much that I was going downstairs and stuff like that. It still would bother me a little bit, just because I'm on the 2nd floor. I don't know. I just prefer everything to be pretty much leveled, unless it's a house that's 2 stories. Then that's lit, really lit. And I'll tell you guys later, like, what my dream home is and what I'm thinking of in the next couple of years of doing. So that's going to be a video coming up very, very soon. But I just wanted to do this video because I currently rent a home and I had an apartment. So it's cool to see both perspectives and see what both's like. Now I'll say something here. Would I ever go back to an apartment? That's complicated. I wouldn't want to go back to an apartment, but if I had to, I would go back to an apartment. I'll just make sure, for first things first, it had to be in a high rise. Like, it would have to be in an expensive building, because when it is not, or when it's not luxury or anything like that, it is not a great experience, because the amenities aren't as good, parking is always bad, and it's just a pain. Like, it's just honestly, real deal, it's a pain. And management usually wouldn't be as fantastic. The appliances wouldn't be as fantastic as it usually is. Now, there are some management companies that are really great, which shout out to those guys. Let me say, I'm an apartment management. It is a tough job. It is an extremely tough job. Something definitely that you guys should know is it is not an easy job. It is not something that can be as glorious as a lot of people make it out to be. It's definitely a tough job with a lot of pros and a lot of cons. But I do enjoy it. So definitely, if you're a good seller, try it out. But yeah, so that's the tough. So that would answer your guys' question. It would have to be like a high rise or sky rise building, or just a really luxurious apartment complex, because I couldn't do nothing that's like mid tier or anything like that, because it just wouldn't be advantageous in my situation. Other than that point, I would just rather rent a house. Another thing would be renting a home is an easier lifestyle. What I mean by that is, when you live in an apartment complex, let's say you want to have social gatherings, so you want to have friends come over and stuff like that, it's a little bit hard, and you have to be a little bit more courteous to your neighbors than you do in renting a house. When you rent a house, you have your own space, you have your own parking spaces and things like that, so you don't have to worry about your neighbors as much. Plus, you guys are a little bit more spread out, or you're a little bit, or they can't hear you anyways. So it is a lot better for social gatherings, for social things, friends, and like that coming over. It's a lot easier and a lot better, honestly, to do it through that situation. To have your own house rather than your own apartment. Where an apartment, yes, I've done a couple parties there. It's tough, because you have to tell people not to do this, that. Like, it gets a lot of rules that's stupid. Where in an apartment, or when you're renting a house, you don't have those rules. Don't break anything. That's all you have to say. Just don't break anything. I mean, that's common courtesy. That's common sense rule, anyways. Because even if I did own a home, if you broke something, I'd be pissed off and be like, "Yo, you gotta replace that." So regardless, it just makes sense. Yes, and also another big thing about a house, or I would say this is even, though, between them, is going to I would have said space, but apartments can come with a lot of space too. So that's really on preference. That's really on what you can afford, would like to, and could take care of. So that one's really up to you. And plus, rented houses usually aren't the biggest houses necessarily. Usually like under 1,200, like under 1,300 square feet is usually what most people would do rented houses for, and then more than that, you would usually just buy and keep and stay at the house. But that's, because apartment complexes I've seen had up to 1,500 square feet for a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom. Sorry, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom. Sorry, I have seen those, by the way. Wildly big. I've seen 3 and 2s there, 1,350 square feet. That's really big, if you guys didn't know that, for a 3-2. So it just really is up to the apartment complex and their sizes compared to renting a house. So that one's more like an even thing. Animals, it's a lot easier in an apartment complex to have an animal, where in a home it's a little bit more of a process, but you don't get really charged really in a home than you would in an apartment complex. It's very minimal. I never had pets, don't have any pets, so it doesn't really matter to me either one, to be honest. But if you do, that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you talk about with your landlord if you're gonna rent a home, if pets are allowed, because a lot of them are not. If you have pets, usually better to get your own house, because it's very hard to find a rented home that won't. that'll allow you to have pets. Whereas in apartment complex, of course they'll let you at home, or of course they'll let you have it, but you have a good amount of money that you have to put down extra. But a lot of pet owners know that already, so they already have that money in hand. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on this. This is the end of the video. I just wanted to give you guys a pros and cons because I won't be at the house. It's the reason why I really got to go. That's the reason why I wasn't able to do like a setup more video and had to do this in the car. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, guys. So don't forget, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and we out.
I had to take a trail. F01s for the white tee. Basic book bitches like me. No drink is them excited. 2-seater bitch, I'm sliding. Ain't had no pot to piss in. Shoot my shot, I'm hitting.